Welcome to the Power Automate walkthrough. In this video, we are going to get familiar with Microsoft Power Automate Flow. And this is the cloud version of the Microsoft Power Automate solution. Power Automate Flow is going to allow us to automate API applications and automate brand new applications that are available and that have APIs. Now, let's get familiar with the interface so that we know where the different things are, and so that once we start creating flows, we already have a little bit of familiarity. Once we log in, we are directed to our home page. On our home page, I will see approvals pending from processes, any processes that I have, and I will see them on the home page so that I can approve or reject that process so that the next steps might happen. I also have some templates for me to start quickly and also some connectors. Now, what are templates and what are connectors? We'll get those in just a second. Now, right here on the left side of the menu, I have a menu that is a summary of everything that I need to know with Power Automate Flow. So there is my flows, or all of the flows that I have. I have the ability to create a new flow. I can choose flows from templates. I can create a flow from a different connector. I can manage different data options and data capabilities. I can monitor my flows and see how they are acting, and not just my flows, but also the flows from my desktop installation. I can see my desktop flows here as well. Then I have the AI builder, and we're going to see this later on in the course. This is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to use AI builder to create some really fun processes. So after that, we have Process Advisor. We're going to take a peek into Process Advisor as well. Process Advisor is going to allow us to record processes on our desktop and share them with colleagues, have them recorded as well, see how we do the same process, and try to find an automation automatically like that. We are going to have solutions, and solutions are once we package different components from the Power Platform like apps, tables, automations, we can all package all of these inside of solutions and deploy them. So that's where solutions are, and a very useful resource which is to learn. This part right here is going to allow you to get a lot of knowledge and a lot of training from Microsoft directly about Microsoft Power Automate Flow and desktop and any other technologies that they have. Now let's take a closer look at the create. Now, when I want to create a flow, I am presented with different flows to create. We will see this in more details, but these are all of the flows that I can create in the cloud. Automated flows, instant flows, scheduled flows, a desktop flow that I create in my desktop, and business process flow. A quick overview of each one of these. Automated flows are flows that run without you having to do anything. A trigger happens, somebody uploads a file, you get an email, and this flow is triggered. Meaning, maybe you get an email, the flow is triggered, it extracts the information from the email and inserts it inside of an Excel. Example. Instant cloud flows are flows that are triggered with a button or a click or an event that happens. So for example, I click a button on a page, or I click a button inside of my control panel right here, and the flow runs and executes different things. Scheduled flows, as the word says, it's flows that are scheduled to run on certain events, dates, and times. So I schedule it to run every 2 hours, or I schedule it to run every Sunday, first Sunday of the month, for example. Desktop flows, those are flows that we are going to see later in the desktop that we're going to build to automate legacy applications and desktop applications. And business process flow. Business process flow are going to allow us to create integration with a user inside of our flow. So let's say that a user needs to submit some information to us, like fill out a form. For example, fill out a form to a request form for to buy a certain order. We can set up this form inside of the business process flow and create a process out of it, all automated inside of Power Automate, which is really great and great functionality. This can help you save so much time. Now that is from the create action. Now also I skipped the my flows, and here I can just have a look at all of the different flows that I have. I have quite a lot of different flows, but these are all of the flows that I have on my cloud. Now on the desktop, I can also see here from my control panel or from the cloud version, I can also see all of the different flows that I have on my desktop as well. I can also see all of the business process flows that I have, and I can also see flows that have been shared with me or that I have shared with others. Now, I can also create a flow from a template, and this can be very interesting and also can help you save some time. Now, if you know already what you are after and what you are trying to automate, by going to the templates, you can search for different templates and already create a process that has been put inside of a template and just fine-tune it, or sometimes not even fine-tune it, just use it out of the box. And there is hundreds, if not thousands, of different templates from which to choose and which that you can use to start creating automations automatically. We're going to see this in more detail later on in the course. Now, connectors, on the other hand, connectors are connections with different applications. They are API connections, but let's not focus on complex words. Let's just call them connectors. And this allows us basically just to connect to Twitter, for example. It allows us to connect to Twitter and do different actions inside of Twitter. So we can post Twitter, we can check if a certain tag has been posted, or we can see how many followers a certain user has, and different actions that the API or the connector allows us to do. So these are connectors, and if you find a connector for the application that you want, that's great because you can start using it immediately. If you don't, you have the ability to create your own connectors. Obviously, you have to know the API interface of the application that you are wanting to connect, but if you know it, you can build your own connector and put it in a marketplace and sell it to others, or you can use it just for yourself. Now, I'll show you also a closer look at the monitor. Why is this important? Because this is going to allow you to see details inside of the runs of every single one of your processes. Now I can see that here I had some processes that have been running 11 minutes ago. Some of these processes failed, some of them were successful. I can also see any notifications that I don't have, and also I can focus on all of the failures that were, or processes that will fail, so that I can look into the details and understand the details, why it has failed and where it has failed. Now we'll go into more details in later on once we start building processes and understanding exception handling, but for now it is just good that you understand a walkthrough and get an idea of how the platform is structured, where we can find different things and the capabilities that it offers. Why am I doing this? Because when I started learning this, I wish that I had learned this before I started using it, because it helped me save a lot of time being able to know where to find the different components and what the platform has to offer. These are, on the other hand, all of my desktop flows and all of the different runs on my desktop. I can also see all of the different machines that I have, and this means that you can have many different robots. So you can install Power Automate Desktop on many different computers and have all of those computers perform different actions and add those machines right here. For example, you can have a virtual machine, or you can have many virtual machines where you install Microsoft Power Automate Desktop and build yourself an army of robots that do different things for you. AI Builder, let's take just a quick look at AI Builder. AI Builder allows us to build right out of the box different automations with AI. So it helps us to build different automations right out of the box. Now we can go straight into productivity, like they say right here, and create one of these processes such as receipt processing, and we're going to do this later on in the course. But you can come here and just take them and start using them inside of your flows automatically. On the other hand, you can start from a model or from not a pre-trained algorithm, but you can train the algorithm and you can customize the algorithm for your needs. So for example, if you wanted to predict if a bottle on a production line is half full or half empty, you could come here and you could train it on a prediction. You can also train a classification category for understanding text, to understand different lawyer text or contracts or information like that. You can have it extract entities from text, and you can customize all of these models. It is pretty straightforward. There is no need to be a machine learning expert. All of these can be used without any knowledge in coding and in machine learning. Obviously, if you have knowledge in coding, it will be handy because you'll be able to do more things, because both Flow and Desktop allow you the ability to use code to take certain shortcuts. Now we also have a process advisor, and I will just give you a quick peek inside of this. This is going to show you all of the processes that you would want to automate in the future. So you would record certain processes such as this. You would record the processes, what the user is doing. You would get a recording. A colleague of yours would do the same. You guys would compare it. You would upload it here, and the tool would compare the different steps and create a map out of this process. As a result, you'll be able to understand which process or which steps are same in all of the cases that you submitted inside of the process analyzer, and would therefore understand which steps should be automated. Now let's take a look at solutions very quickly. And Microsoft has improved or is doing a lot of changes to the Power Automate Flow and Desktop constantly. They're constantly evolving, and new features are being added. Therefore, it might look differently in your version. Now, these are all different solutions that I have, and this is where you would create solutions. You would also export your flows and import your flows from one version of Power Automate Flow to the next, or one environment to the next. Now, that is quite everything that I wanted to show you inside of Power Automate Flow. It should give you quite a good idea of everything that the tool has to offer. It should give you some familiarity with everything, where all the different components are. So right now we are ready to take a look at Desktop and then start building our flows.